the basic idea that Joel got was that competition is a good thing, right? That bringing some stress to a system as large as a school system, the New York City Department of Education, is a healthy thing. And many leaders of public institutions or private, many leaders, period, resist the generative, positive influence that this kind of tension can bring. Joel viewed it as a necessary element to moving the system forward, to making it better after he left than what it was when he arrived. And he also looked around and saw the enormous talent in the sector and knew that that one way he was going to move the system was going to be a paradigm in which the schools he was running were held accountable for outcomes. And the ultimate path to that for a public school system is choice. And when he was going to put parents in charge of where they were going to send their kids by tapping these remarkably talented entrepreneurs who had already proven that they could accomplish something. Again, same dollars, same kids, different vision, different adults. That was a lever that was right in front of him. And of course, the mayor gave him cover to pull that lever. But as an antitrust intellect, this of course appealed to Joel's intellectual understanding of what was possible and what the obvious route was to do exactly what you said, which was disrupt the system. It starts with investing in entrepreneurs and educators who have a different vision and can see a better way for delivering school or for conceiving what school should look like. So I think that is a fundamental element of what this board and this family and originally John Walton saw. I think consistent with the vision that played out here in New York and the way Joel Klein thinks, there is also a notion that a school of choice, whether it's a private school, a charter school, or a traditional district school, can be a clarion call to a system of schools and can be a proof point that will, to mix metaphors, become a rising tide that lifts all boats, that can teach a system how to behave, can encourage other parents to demand choice, and can also be a blueprint for educators who share that vision for how they should start to act and behave in the classroom. The heart of our strategy moving forward remains the school. The school is the unit of change that matters the most, and so we'll continue to invest in entrepreneurs to provide startup support and support otherwise to increase the number of seats in our 13 cities as quickly and thoughtfully as we can. One theme of our new approach, which isn't so new, frankly, is a concession that choice, that the availability of those seats and the opportunity to invest in those entrepreneurs is necessary but not sufficient, that there are things that need to happen around the entrepreneur without which the school cannot be the rising tide that lifts all boats. So raising up parent voice, right? A deep investment in bringing partners to the table who have the most to lose if we don't get this right. So I would say a whole spectrum of activities and development of partners and voices as advocates. To things like providing data around student performance at the city level, to thinking in new ways about how transportation works in cities, without which choice becomes a sort of theoretical discussion. Thinking about how we can motivate better decisions by authorizers. Thinking about how we can serve our most vulnerable students in ways that are creative and produce better outcomes for every student. So we're trying to stay very focused on the fundamentals, which for us are about finding the entrepreneur and investing in that entrepreneur and pushing that vision forward as fast and as thoughtfully as we can, while we think about the other necessary preconditions that are so important to the scalable success of that entrepreneur. There's plenty of data now to suggest that the charter movement will, in the next 15 years, so by 2030, 2030 serve 10 million students. 3 million now, big accomplishment, 10 million by any number of projections. If you buy that, and we do, the question then is where are the seats going to come from? Who's going to do it? And I think the most ambitious projections for school creation among the existing operators, operators who are in the Charter School Growth Fund portfolio, who have a demonstrated track record of consistently producing strong results, the most ambitious projection would, of their ability to grow, doesn't get you anywhere close to 10 million seats. So then the question is, where else are they going to come from? And if for no other reason, and there are other reasons, you then turn to the kind of the unborn charter management organization, the education entrepreneur who's out there as a teacher now and is going to do the same thing in 2017 that Dave and Norm and Daisha and all the great ones did in 2004. As a funder, I think it's very important that we stay as focused and energetic in pursuing that investment as we do in scaling up the existing operator. Both because that's what's going to get us to scale, and because 25 years is a great accomplishment. I think we're just getting started, and I think we've got to stay open to new ideas of what school looks like. And we're not going to be the ones who have those ideas. It's going to be, kind of the next generation of entrepreneur.